Hey guys, in this month's Disney Rewind, we're going to be talking about Season 1 of Hawkeye. So you guys, before we do head into our thoughts and feelings on Hawkeye, we're definitely probably going to have spoilers in this video, so if you are not caught up on all 6 episodes, it was only 6 episodes, then come back at a later date, because we're definitely probably going to be mentioning a lot of just craziness and going into some stuff. So yeah, Stephanie, how did you feel about Hawkeye?
I very much enjoyed Hawkeye.
Thoroughly impressed.
Definitely my favorite. I'm sure you're going to ask this question later, but definitely my favorite Marvel show. I liked the relationship between the characters. I thought that was really good, plus I like that kind of humor between my characters. And I liked the story. I liked that there were no aliens, that everything was just normal people. There wasn't even weird serums going around. It was just normal people having beyond normal issues in life.
That's what I liked about the show too. It was just very normal. It was
like a breath of fresh air,
yeah.
Because you need to have something that doesn't have serums or aliens every now and then, or magic,
just weirdness
every now and then to break up all that.
Yeah, that's what I liked about the show. I liked that it was just normal. I guess that's the best way to put it. It was just normal because Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, he is just a normal dude. Kate Bishop is just normal. I mean, even all of the villains in this,
They're just normal.
Because or the antagonist villains, or anyone who was just trying to get in the way in general, you know, everybody was normal. No one had superpowers or anything. I mean, the most magical element is just the unbelievability of some of the arrows, some of the things they can do. You know, it's like, okay, in real life you could never be able to do something like that. But yeah, it was only 6 episodes. It was very tightly focused around like Christmas, because it took place like over a week, right? Like each episode was like a day, something like that.
I don't know. I feel like maybe it was about a couple weeks, because they said something made it sound like it's.
I'm trying to remember what the first episode said, because the first episode didn't say something about like a week till Christmas or something. I can't remember, but it was just focused on the holiday season, focusing on these characters as they're kind of trying to figure out what this problem is before Christmas, because that was Clint's big thing. He
just wanted to get home.
He just wanted to get home, fix this problem that really kind of started with Kate. You know, fix this problem, help Kate out so he can go home, be with his family for Christmas and whatnot. Just a very simple, easy to follow story, and it was a lot of fun, but a lot of like emotional stuff in there too. A nice little balance of a blend of like the drama versus the comedy and whatnot. Yeah, kind of just speaking about the Christmas thing. How did you like the Christmas stuff integrated into the show? Because it worked for me.
I liked it because then I think too it helped with the family side of the story.
Because you can relate to Clint.
Yeah.
Like, because he's like, I want to get home for Christmas. You know, it's like you can relate to him.
Because it's like he took the kids to New York. I don't know if they went there to do Christmassy stuff. They went to go see that weird Avengers.
Rogers the musical, you guys. We'll talk about that later.
So, I don't know what else they did during their trip, but, you know, they were having a family, you know, getaway right before Christmas. And then, yeah, they were supposed to go home and be there in time for Christmas and everything. So, yeah, I think focusing around that time frame helped with what the whole purpose was for Clint, and not just, and for also, Kate.
It gave you a timeline within the show. Like, okay, Clint has to get all this done.
Yeah.
Before Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, it made
he had a deadline.
Yeah, he had a deadline. He has to get everything done by Christmas. I liked that deadline because it kind of raises the stakes, because you want him to make it home for Christmas. You don't want that to fail. I liked the use of Christmas in this. Plus, it just because it came out at the end of November and whatnot, and then it continued into December, obviously. So it just added a nice little thing there. I also like the use of Christmas music. That was hilarious, because there would be like some really dramatic action scenes and stuff, and they'd sit there and play Christmas music, and it would just sit there and go to the action sequences. That was hilarious. It was great. I guess I'm just gonna get into some specifics here. Talking about Clint. What did you get out of Clint this entire season? Pretty much.
He's got some serious issues with what happens.
Clint
with,
has some severe PTSD.
Natasha. Because, I mean, she was brought up in, like, every episode.
Every episode.
Her name, I think, she had a name drop in every episode, or she was just mentioned in some form.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a massive feeling of guilt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? And two, I think the whole family thing aspect was that that's why she sacrificed herself, because
he had a family. She had no one.
She had, like, he had a whole family that was, that didn't have issues, and so I think a part of that too was that now he was away from his family, and kind of maybe he needs to get back to spend time with his family, because that's why she sacrificed herself, and
he needs to make it worth it. That she sacrificed herself so he can continue to live and be with his family, and whatnot. I really liked Clint's entire story. Because what the movies kind of failed to do, as much as I love the movies, and what I've been loving about every single one of these shows so far, the movies fail to really get you into, like, their headspace as superheroes, and sometimes.
They kind of have it more like, oh, cool.
Yeah. The movies tend to focus a lot on kind of the positives and the coolness of being a superhero, and the celebrity of it.
And also, Clint is not a character they focus on a lot in the games. You might know more about, like, Steve and Tony's, and even Bruce.
But the movies don't really get you into that really deep emotional headspace of these characters, because the entire season, all 6 episodes, Clint is struggling. And even though the show was largely really comedic, there are a lot of just moments in there, it's like, okay, Clint's not doing good. Like, mentally and physically, because you sit and watch the movies, everyone is sexy, everyone looks like they're in great shape, but the thing is, there is a toll on the body at some point, they are aging. They are technically all still aging. Steve Rogers may not have been really aging, and Thor, but everybody else was aging. And that's kind of Clint's whole thing. He is aging.
He's got an earpiece,
a
hearing aid.
He had a hearing aid, because, I mean, imagine.
And he's only, like, I don't know how old he is.
I think Jeremy Renner's in his 40s. I think he's in his 40s.
He's nowhere near ready for
But Clint had a hearing aid, so you definitely get the idea that the Avengers, they have done so much, all these things exploding, and guns, and the violence, and being shaken around and thrown against things. There should definitely be damage,
especially for the more human people.
Yeah, especially for Clint, who was very human, because that's what this whole show was, just really showing him he is just a human. He is not a superhero like Thor or the Hulk, or even Captain America. He is just a dude. He doesn't have anything to rely on. He don't have, like, a suit like Tony. He is just a dude relying on his skills with a bow and arrow. And you see that the physical damage of, he can't, he's deaf. He is pretty much deaf. He has to rely on a hearing aid. And then there's even moments like he's kind of walking around and he's
in his own world.
He's creaky and in pain. His joints.
Like, it's funny, but then you also kind of feel bad when he takes all those, like, they're like margarita mixes or something, like frozen mixes, and he just, like,
patching them all over his body, the cold patches and stuff. And then there's also the mental damage that he has, because he's seen a lot of things, he's done a lot of things, he's seen and done a lot of things that most normal people don't do, and plus adding in Natasha, that emotional trauma that he has with Natasha, that his guilt about that, and so there's a lot going on with Clint. And plus, I also just like the thing with Clint, because this is the whole point of Kate Bishop in the entire show, I think, is because she is a straight up Hawkeye fangirl, and a lot of times Hawkeye is just kind of seen as the butt of the Avengers. No one cares about Hawkeye. No one really pays attention to him, but he does have fans. Kate is a fan of his. She admires him. She looks up to him. He's a role model to her. That, yeah, superheroes don't have to be all wild and crazy like Iron Man and Thor and Captain America and whatnot. He is special to somebody and made a difference in somebody's life. So I love that whole thing with him and Kate and her giving him like a confidence boost, I guess, that he has never really had. Because he's kind of been neglected a lot of times.
And it wasn't like a thing of her being like, oh my god, I'm so in love with you. Like, you know, like somebody come across, you know, the Thor or something and say something stupid like that. But no, yeah, hers is like a legit, like...
She admires him.
Yeah,
because,
role model and stuff.
Because we also have that great flashback in episode 1. The first thing we see is the Battle of New York, and Kate's a little girl, and the Chitauri and Loki come, and she sees that one scene. We, you know, from our point of view, we see Clint jump out that window and go out all cool on the little wire and into the window. She is able to see that from her point of view, and that's what really inspires her.
And two, she loses her father right in that very moment. So then seeing him being a normal person doing all that.
I really liked Clint's entire story in this because he's often ridiculed as the least favorite Avenger, you know. And it's like, I hope this show made people really love him and like he's a new favorite. You know, because I've always liked Hawkeye. You know, I've always liked him. I've never had a problem with him, but I have always kind of seen him as the least interesting. You know, but yeah, this show definitely made me like, oh god, I love Clint.
That's not his fault.
Yeah,
they focus too much on
everybody else. But yeah, this show definitely made me just really love him as a character, and it's like I really hope he continues into some other stuff. I don't know if that's going to be the case though.
or two, like if they do a season 2 and it's Kate, but that. She can always, like, he can pop up. Like, Tony is to
Peter.
He can
be that to Kate.
Yeah, be a mentor, and he can just still kind of pop up, or he can still kind of take place in the battles. I can see him back there yelling at her.
And then kind of merging into, I guess, discussion on Kate. I love that relationship with Clint and Kate, because... He sees her as a nuisance at first. You know, he sees her as an absolute nuisance
because stop tagging around.
Because once again, he has a deadline. He has to get home for Christmas, and here she is messing things up for him. And I love kind of that initial relationship that she's a nuisance. He just wants to get this over and done with. But I like that they start slowly building up a closer attachment and bond because they start to become like more firm partners by the end.
Yeah,
you know, they're equals because he doesn't see her as an equal. At all initially, because he sees her as a little girl who's not capable. So I like that. How did you feel about Kate? What are your thoughts on Kate?
I was worried at first, but
that you wouldn't like Kate.
Yeah, but no, I really liked her.
You know, even though this is a show kind of about Clint in some ways, really it's kind of her show. I feel like she had more screen time than Jeremy Renner.
No, I really liked her character, and I liked her personality, and I just like how she handled situations. Like she never seemed like too big of a deal to her. Like she never was in a panic. Or she not too bad at.
She always knew how to kind of keep her cool.
Yeah,
I felt like you could tell she was maybe in a panic.
Yeah, but she was like,
okay, I'm gonna keep cool. I'm gonna keep it cool. Yeah, she had. I liked her confidence,
especially if she was, especially like being with Clint.
Yeah,
I think too. Like she wanted to seem confident, even if she was panicking, because she wanted to be like, I can do this.
Yeah, she wanted to prove herself to him so badly. She wanted to prove her worth. She wanted to prove that she can be like him. It's like she went into it with a lot of confidence, and it's like slowly over the course she kind of loses her own self-confidence, and I think Clint kind of feels bad about that. Yeah, and he brings it back, you know, like, hey, don't let anyone ever tear you down, tell you otherwise, you're great. Something I kind of just thought about. Do you think he was kind of pushing her away initially also because he was still thinking about Natasha?
Yeah.
That he didn't want to sit and
he didn't want to see some.
He didn't want to have another partner and get so close to somebody only to see that person die again.
Because in the 5th episode, That's when what's her face popped up?
No, that was episode 4, I think.
Oh,
Yelena.
yeah, 4.
Yeah, Yelena popped up at
number
the end of 4. Yeah,
she threw Kate over the roof,
and he had flashbacks. He had flashbacks.
He ran over there, and they showed it like at that similar angle of him like looking down over the thing.
It's like he was experiencing that same trauma again.
Yeah,
and he didn't want to. I loved Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop. To quote Yelena. I loved Kate as well. Because I was a little concerned too, like, am I going to like her? The thing is, I love her in the comics because I have read that set of comics by Matt Fraction, the Hawkeye series that came out not too terribly long ago that does feature Kate Bishop and her partnership with Clint and whatnot. I did read those comics, and I did really like Kate in those comics, definitely. But I was still kind of concerned going into the show. I was like, oh, I hope this works.
But no, I'd be friends with Kate.
Oh, I know. I can go and have I feel like frappuccino with Kate.
To me, like, she's the most like relatable, one of the more relatable people.
She's very down to earth
and relatable female characters that I would be cool with.
you could definitely hang out with someone like Kate. She's very normal.
I would love to just have a movie night with Clint and Kate. Like, they just seem like
Yelena.
And yeah,
and Yelena.
They look like the type, they don't want to go out and party. They just want to sit at home and watch stupid stuff.
And Yelena just be commentating the entire time.
Yeah.
Did we kind of cover everything with Kate and Clint? I feel like there's something missing. I guess as we're going through this, what character do you want to move on to next? We've been here kind of casually mentioning Yelena. You want to just bring up Yelena?
I guess.
Just kind of, since we were kind of starting to talk about Yelena really quick, we got the shock of our life, episode 4, right? Yeah. The very end of episode 4.
I was getting suspicious though. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, here comes the end. Here comes the end of episode 4. The hat or the hood gets taken off. It's surprise, surprise. Yelena, played by Florence Pugh. I was like, oh shit.
We haven't watched Black Widow.
I was like, Stephanie. I was like, oh shit, Stephanie. We best watch Black Widow before episode 5.
We're behind on Marvel movies.
So yeah, after the Yelena reveal. I think a couple days later, we did literally sit and watch Black Widow, so we can. I'm glad we did. I'm glad because
they brought up all kinds.
They brought up a lot of stuff,
even when they were children on that plane.
Yeah,
something so minimal.
Yeah, I'm very glad we watched Black Widow because I think I needed that emotional attachment and connection to her to kind of understand where she's coming from, why she was going after Clint and why she was wanting him dead. You know, I needed that because if we hadn't seen that, I would have just seen her as a villain. You know, and I know she's not a villain, and I didn't want to see her as a villain. So I'm glad we were able to sit and catch up on Black Widow really quickly. I loved Yelena's role, her cameo, I guess, because she kind of just popped up in a couple episodes there. I don't think she stole any of the episodes she was in.
No.
I think they kind of reined her back just enough, you know, because it's still Kate and Clint's show. You know, I was a little worried she was going to steal the whole show.
She'll probably get her own thing here soon.
I hope she gets her own show. But I loved her function and role in there. It worked because she's going after Clint for her own reasons involving Natasha, you know, but she doesn't know what happened. You know, she wasn't there. So I loved how she worked in there. I loved her relationship with Kate.
Yeah, I like
Kate
that.
Bishop.
Like she was like straightforward from the beginning. Like, I'm not here for you. Like, I'm just here to chit chat with you. Like she had no hostile feelings towards her for anything.
I like how Yelena emits subtle hostility.
Oh yeah,
because she's subtly terrifying. I think.
Yeah,
she's subtly terrifying underneath the surface, you know, because she can kind of seem like all cool and hey, I like having a good time and fun. I'm gonna go do this and that.
But if you do this,
but if you do this and get in my way, I'm gonna kill you. You know, like she has a subtle hostility there
with
underneath
my mac
the
and
surface.
cheese fork.
Even with that fork, she had that fork with the mac and cheese. It's like if Kate said anything to piss her off, that fork was gonna go right at Kate. I loved Yelena. We also have. Are we done with Yelena? We also have Vera Farmiga, Kate's mom. I had a feeling there was going to be a lot more with Vera Farmiga. You don't cast someone of Vera Farmiga's quality and not do anything with her. So I was sitting there suspecting, I don't know about you, but I was suspecting the entire time there was something more sinister.
I think about halfway through I was kind of thinking she seemed off. Because, you know, too, like how we discussed, well, we didn't know, like, where she got all her money from, you know, because we thought the dad was the one kind of making all the money, and then they still have their nice house and their apartment and everything. So it probably is where it came from, too. Half of it is from
So
Kingpin.
So she's a part of the mafia. Yeah, we'll talk about Kingpin later. We'll kind of save him for last. We get through all the main characters first. But yeah, I liked Vera Farmiga. Her role was very minimal in some ways, but I think effective. And they used her, I think, where she needed to be used.
It's like none of the people were bad or whatever.
We're like straight out total bad.
Yeah,
except for Kingpin.
they all had a reason.
Yeah.
And they weren't awful.
Yeah, that's what I like about...
they because they were there to help with Clint and Kate, but also it wasn't like that was useless. You know, sometimes you have people come in and they're kind of like just a useless bad character just to do something, but I feel like they still supported
the story.
Their story.
Yeah, all of the antagonists definitely supported the story. And yeah, like you said, they all had their own motives and agendas that were kind of being fueled by something outside of them that was causing them to do the things that they were doing.
Hate or fear.
Yeah, yeah. So I like that because even Vera Farmiga's character,
I think hers was
because she wasn't
fear. I think because she said once her Kate's father died, she said something like
she needed some sort of choice. Yeah, she needed some sort of stability to protect her and Kate. That's why she joined the mafia, I guess. And then Maya / Echo, because I think her superhero name is called Echo, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I shot Stephanie the other day because I told her because right, to my understanding, I think Maya's supposed to be getting her own spin-off show on Disney Plus. I think it's going to be called Echo. Do I have that right? I think that I could be making that up, you guys. I might be making that up. I don't know, but that's kind of what I heard through the grapevine of Disney Plus. How'd you feel about Maya? I loved Maya.
I liked her.
At first, I was like, "Oh no, don't you be beating up on Clint." But I really grew to love her as a character.
I liked the similarities for her and Clint.
Once again,
because even he felt guilt, or I guess guilt for like he didn't want to like hurt her.
Yeah.
Even though she wanted to hurt him,
because he's felt not about murdering people.
Yeah.
He don't want to murder and hurt people.
What happened was, well, did it turn out he didn't even do that? Right.
Oh, because she blamed Ronan for the death of her father.
Yeah.
It was Kazi.
Was it her father or uncle?
That was her father, because she called Kingpin her uncle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it turned out Kazi got some hold of the costume, the Ronan costume, right? Made his own costume, right? Something like that. And it was Kazi who killed her dad.
Who's that?
The fake Jon Snow.
Fake Jon Snow.
Heads up, you guys. Stephanie, the entire time, Kazi, she kept calling him fake Jon Snow. And the bad thing is, every time she said that, I knew exactly who she was talking about.
Look, I gotta give people nicknames to get me through a show.
So, fake Jon Snow. Kazi. It turned out Kazi's the one who did it, which I think that's what she was so pissed off and frustrated, because, he was in photos with her and her dad.
Yeah.
So, I think that's what upset her the most, is that she's had...
betrayal.
Yeah, the ultimate betrayal from someone that she loved and trusted killed her father. Yeah, I really liked Maya. Nice representation there, because she's both deaf and it looks like she is...
Was that real? I mean, not to be rude. Yeah.
I do believe...
I mean, that seemed like that was legit.
God, I wish I had
It's hard to tell, because they do such good CGIs on people nowadays.
I wish I had looked that up really quickly so we can be informed here. If the actress was indeed missing a leg, for real. Because if she was really missing a leg, then they hired someone who was both deaf and was really missing a leg, an amputee or whatever. But yeah, nice representation there to have someone genuinely deaf. And whatnot.
Makes it more believable.
It makes it believable to the character, and you can rely, there's a reliability there that this character is really facing this struggle and issue, It's not an actor just trying to bullshit their way through a role like that, Yeah, I really liked Maya. She was great. If she is indeed having her own show, I would like that. Maybe Kazi will come back as a villain? Because I don't think he's dead. I need fake Jon Snow back. Yeah, because I liked her journey because she did seem like an antagonist, and once again, like you said, everyone was fueled by something that was making them a villain. She was fueled by revenge, you know? I liked that journey of her character. And then, yeah, I mean, she realizes, like, okay, I've been lied to, been betrayed, I can't trust all these people anymore.
I'm getting out of town.
Yeah, I'm going down a path that I shouldn't be going down. So yeah, I liked her story. How'd you feel about Kazi?
He was fine.
I liked him. He's pretty. He's very pretty. Like I said, I hope he's not dead, because it ended and it looked like she beat the living crap out of him or whatever she did to him. I'm not sure if he's dead. They didn't go back and downright show that he was dead.
She shot him, didn't she? She shot him, didn't she?
He probably had on a bulletproof suit. No one Marvel, he probably has a bulletproof suit.
Seemed like she was going for a headshot.
So yeah, Kazi, I'm hoping he comes back because he was kind of cool. I liked him.
Does he have a superpower?
I know he's supposed to. He's like a Marvel villain. I know. I think when I was doing some quick research on him, his villain name is like the Clown. I think the Clown.
That made no sense.
Instead of the Joker, he's the Clown. I guess that's what I did. Like I said, I did quick research, and and him being the one who killed Maya's dad and using the Ronin thing as well. We didn't even talk about the Ronin character, since it's Hawkeye. We didn't even mention that really quickly, because that's something else Clint is dealing with. He's dealing with the ramifications as his time as Ronin. That he made a lot of enemies, and it's kind of coming back on him now, and he's getting in trouble because of that.
And then Kate wasn't really. She wasn't bothered by it, was she? I don't remember her being bothered by it. Like, she was kind of like she understood that he went through some dark times or something, and she wasn't blaming him.
That's what Yelena is trying to put doubt in Kate's mind too. Like, you don't really know this guy. How long have you known him? He's a vicious killer, But once again, she doesn't know Clint.
She also doesn't know anything that happened during that time frame, because she went poof.
Oh, speaking of her going poof during the blip, that was a great sequence. It reminded me.
Oh wait, that was in the show, wasn't it?
Yeah, that reminded me of that sequence in WandaVision when the one girl, Stephanie, the one girl. Monica. When she went out of existence,
when
she was there by her mom's. Yeah, she was there by her mom's.
And she comes back and their mom's gone.
Yeah, she's by her mom's bed, and then her mom's dead. She missed all that time. I love that sequence with Yelena. It's very comparable because she's going into that bathroom, whatever she's doing.
She just went to wash her face, and then she.
Yeah. And then, she just goes, she misses away, and then she comes back, and she's all confused. That one girl has, a family now, you know? I love that sequence.
Oh, because she was another Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
And now she, completely renounced that.
Yeah.
She's got a husband.
So I love that, because it gives us an answer. Hey, what happened to Elena? Did she go out of existence, too?
Yeah, so she has, no clue. Thanos, or unless she, kind of heard some stuff, doing research or something, but she still don't know half of what actually went on.
Okay, so we digressed there a little bit because I started thinking about some stuff we forgot about. Okay, so we talked about Clint, Kate, Yelena, Vera Farmiga. I can't even remember her name. I just call her Vera Farmiga. Kate's mom. Maya, Kazi, Tracksuit Mafia. They were hilarious. I loved them.
I did like her possible new stepfather. What was his name?
Jack,
yeah.
Because I wasn't sure about him. I thought he was a bad guy.
They set it up.
They really set it up
to divert your attention.
Yeah. They gave you a red herring. He was definitely a big, huge red herring this season because I thought for sure he was a bad guy.
Because then,
before I was really suspecting Vera Farmiga.
He was so cheesy and crap. And then I loved him in the final episode because he finally got to do his fencing. And they were like, "Who's this guy?"
Yeah. Yeah, I loved him.
Also goes into, I liked the whole LARPing squad.
The LARPing people were great. I love them.
That was just a funny little thing that actually added a little something to
I really
show.
wanted the series to end and with Clint and Kate go join the LARP team and really get into it.
Didn't they say they made them costumes or that they were going to make them costumes?
What, their costumes at the end?
No.
Oh, because I know the one LARPer girl made their costumes.
Did she?
Yeah, she's the one who made their uniforms at the end.
That's what she was talking about, but I thought too maybe they were mentioning that they would make them LARPing outfits to go,
I love
outside.
Seriously, the LARPing team, great. I need them again.
Because too, they were a bunch of cops, which just made it even funnier. That was just a bunch of cops who, when they're done for the day, they just go and role play.
Yeah.
So
that's how they
fun.
stress relief and whatnot.
Yeah.
Do we just have Kingpin now?
And
Oh,
and
what did you have to
and that they were like Hawkeye was their leader. They're cops, but they were like, Hawkeye, we will follow you.
Do we just have Kingpin left
Yeah.
now? Okay. Kingpin. Disclaimer. I saw all 3 seasons of Daredevil. Stephanie never did. I'm okay. Before I tell you my thoughts about Kingpin, how did you feel about Kingpin? Because I think we have 2 vastly different opinions because you've not seen Daredevil.
I don't know. He's not useful, I guess, to me.
Mm-hmm.
He was just there at the end to tie up all the who was really the villain and who was not.
Mm-hmm.
So
you didn't care.
no.
You didn't care. Because I had a feeling you didn't. Yeah, I am a little frustrated. As much as I love the show, I do have to complain about the use of Kingpin because I was very frustrated. Because Kingpin in the Daredevil universe in those 3 seasons on Netflix, he is a very complicated, complex dude. He's a bad guy, but there are moments when you do sympathize with the dude in weird, strange ways. So I have all that backstory and history with him, and I know how complex a character he is and how interesting. He is a very fascinating, interesting character. He's one of the better Marvel villains, like in movies and shows, just period. So I was very curious how they were going to interpret his interpretation on this. And it was very lackluster, I think. Because I was sitting there thinking, oh damn, I was like, if anyone's seen Daredevil, they're not going to care about him. Because he was very one-dimensional, and on Hawkeye, he was very one-dimensional. He was just there to kind of be this big reveal, like, hey, he's the head of the Mafia. Kate's mom has been working with this guy. You know, that was kind of all his sole purpose and function. And it was kind of disappointing and frustrating, especially for me, that I know all the backstory with him, how complicated he is, and how very fascinating he is. Because I had a feeling you were going to be like, okay. Because I even kept telling Stephanie, I was like, oh, I'm so excited for Kingpin. I was like, he's one of my top favorite villains. And Stephanie was like, okay. And then here he comes. And I'm sure you're like, why is he one of your top favorite villains? You know, I'm sure that's what you were thinking. Why is he one of your top favorite villains? So yeah, I am very frustrated with that. Thing is, though, I think there's a promise now that he can pop up in other stuff, maybe? Since they established him. Maybe Matt Murdock will pop up. I'm really hoping Matt Murdock will pop up. Daredevil. You guys?
They already announced something. That he was still going to be there.
Don't spoil it.
Well, I don't know what for.
Because I'm hoping he might pop up on She-Hulk. That's kind of my hope, you guys. I'm hoping Matt Murdock will pop up on She-Hulk. But I don't know. I could be dreaming. And then I did read a article with interview with Vincent D'Onofrio yesterday, and he did mention, to his understanding, to the best of his knowledge, that this Kingpin is supposed to be the same one from the Netflix universe. That's not too different. Like, you know,
he's not.
So yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio, to the best of his knowledge, he claims he is the same Kingpin from the Netflix show. Now, I don't know if that's what he thinks, or maybe the writers think something different. I don't know. They could all be on separate pages. But yeah. So, is that it?
Pizza dog.
The dog. Stephanie, how can we forget the dog? I love the dog.
I just wanted to give him a shout out. I don't know what else to say. He's a
dog.
Of course,
dog.
he's wonderful.
That dog.
He does have 2 eyes.
It's a CGI.
It's a CGI.
CGI missing eye. I thought they really found a dog that was missing an eye, but I guess not. I just love that the dog, because the dog was a nice way to bring Kate and Clint together.
And it looks like he's going to be staying with Clint. Maybe he's going to be a therapy dog.
Clint sure does need a service dog. Oh, that made me think. For some reason, they gave me a flashback. I don't know why this gave me a flashback. When Clint, he had lost his hearing aid, and he was trying to talk to his son on the phone. Oh. And he couldn't hear his own son on the phone, and Kate had to kind of interpret for him.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Because that was, I think, the first moment where they first really connected, that they could rely on each other. Because
was that after...
It was after they had been captured by the Tracksuit Mafia. Okay. And I think Maya had stepped on his hearing aid.
But he still, though, he still was distant, though. Mm-hmm. But I think, at that point, he was kind of like... It's not too bad.
Yeah, I love that moment because he couldn't hear anything. He was just kind of making something up through the mumbling that he could hear. And I think that was upsetting him. And he didn't want to sit and say, oh, I just got in a big, gigantic fight and my hearing aid got crushed.
Yeah.
I don't think he wanted to freak out his family and scare, especially his son, because that was his youngest son. I don't think he wanted to freak them out and scare them that something traumatic was going on, you know, especially right there before Christmas. So I like that because Kate kind of picked up on that immediately, like, okay, I see what he's doing. He doesn't want to scare his son. I'm going to try to interpret what his son's saying. You know, that was a beautiful scene. I loved it. Okay, is that it about Hawkeye? I just keep thinking of random things. We need to stop. Okay, Stephanie, if you had to rank Hawkeye on a scale of 1 to 10 Mickey ears, what would you give it?
I think I'm going to give it a 10.
10?
Is that a bit too generous?
I'm going to go for a 9. I'm going to go for a 9 just because I'm frustrated with Kingpin.
So where does this fall on your scale?
You
always ask me.
Oh, favorite Marvel shows?
Yeah.
I'm still all about WandaVision, you guys. WandaVision is number 1. I think Hawkeye seriously jumped up to number 2. Loki at 3. And Falcon Winter Soldier at 4. And, you know, I mean, I know we're going in descending order like that or whatever. I don't mean that in a bad way, like Falcon Winter Soldier, it's at 4th, it's most terrible.
Yeah.
I definitely don't mean that. Like it's god awful, because it was still great. I still freaking loved Falcon Winter Soldier. But yeah, it's just in terms of me just really getting into something. Yeah, WandaVision, Hawkeye, Loki, Falcon Winter Soldier. What about you?
Hawkeye. I think I changed mine to WandaVision number 2. And
you were really gung-ho about Falcon Winter Soldier for a while.
I was, but I think I lost it. And then I honestly don't know between Loki and
Falcon Winter Soldier?
Oh.
Well, you know, plus I've seen What If as well. I've not even included What If in the list. I guess I'm not including What If because you've not seen What If. I highly enjoyed What If, you guys. Is that it? That is it for our video. You guys, in the comments below, feel free to talk to us about Hawkeye if you saw it. That's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye, guys.